welcome to another episode of Shooting
the Shit with Rachel
and Neal Young. We're talking all things real estate photography business growth, mindset, and getting it done. Here come your favorite true entrepreneurs, Rachel and Neal Young, shooting the shit.
I have a ferret on the podcast. Like if we're kind of in a slump, like what kind of things do you do?
Talking about a boob light.
Straddling a power line.
Nice photo.
Ooh, I need that.
I'm like red right now because I'm embarrassed. I go like this. I love it.
Hey, come in.
Sure, use your podcast voice.
You know, over here, I'm pitting out.
Drone's like flipping to the ground.
That's a great callback.
Chit-chatting.
Is that what you call that?
Hey! This episode is brought to you by my admin. Well, HD Photo Hub, which is basically like having an admin.
That's right. And it's not just a delivery platform. It's a powerhouse designed to make your work shine. From stunning teaser videos and social media reels to custom property websites and polished printable flyers, HD Photo Hub automates it all so you can focus on what matters, growing your business.
That's right. Hey, gang, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited. Today we have an amazing guest. I'm guessing you've probably heard of him before. Eli Jones is here with us today. And, you know, if you've ever watched a YouTube video trying to figure out how to do real estate photography, I'm sure you came across some of his awesome content. So knowing that you may already know a little bit about Eli, maybe you already heard him on podcasts, we are going to get a little spiel from him, and then we're going to have some fun with it and try something a little different. And we're going to actually have Eli help us out on something that is probably one of the most terrifying things you could ever do in business. It's like that monster from the darkness. It is cold calling.
And like never want to do this in my whole life, but you know what? I'm sure it works wonders. So here we go.
From the darkness, right? So we're going to actually dive into it and try some cold calling role play with Eli today. And he's going to give us some help, and hopefully we don't fall on our faces too hard, but I'm guessing we will. But Eli, I'd love for you to just do a little quick spiel and tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to chop it up for a little bit. So yeah, I started as a real estate photographer by accident. I think 2012 was when I did my first shoot. I wish I knew. If I knew I was going to be teaching real estate photography, I would have like noted down when I started, but did everything wrong still continuing to do a lot wrong, but learned the hard way on just about everything, scaled the business, brought my brother in. The business is called Norman and Young now, and we serve the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Mm-hmm. And we do, around 2,500, 3,000 shoots a year, somewhere in that range. So not the biggest company out there, but we've learned a thing or two in the process. And in 2019, I was bored would be an understatement. I think I'm like a lot of business owners, and I just like doing new stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. And I decided I saw someone named Parker Walbeck who had a cool course called Full-Time Filmmaker. Oh, yeah. And learned a lot from it. And I was like, I'm going to do that for real estate photography. So I wasn't doing much daily at Norman and Young anymore. I had a good team running it, launched Rep with just a course at the time. And since then, I've been more on this side of things, helping people build real estate media businesses. So appreciate the intro. And yeah, sorry to everybody who just gets bombarded by my short form content. That's my number one apology to everyone ahead of time. So that's me.
Eli, I have to say though, Eli, your videos are so approachable. Like you always have a smile on your face. You just talk very calm and collected, and it's just easy to listen to. It's not like salesy and gross. So I don't think anyone really dislikes them. It's just you're really good at running ads. Like
just the volume
they're everywhere. It's great. Yeah. I think everywhere you get introduced, they make fun of you for that. It's funny. Like, poor Eli. How annoying.
Psst. Sorry to interrupt. If you haven't heard, Rach and I are using Pixel CRM.
Pixel CRM isn't just another boring tool. It's basically your business's best friend. With Pixel CRM, you can automate your lead generation, follow-ups, client communication, and stay top of mind with email campaigns. And there's just so much more.
And if you want, you can try it out today. Just go to pixelcrm.com/STS, and you're going to get the first month of Pixel CRM free. And people need that, right? It's so good to have all this great content now, because it was a lot harder to come by when I was getting started.
Oh my gosh, is that not the truth? It was like the simplest thing. It took me weeks, and then I still did it wrong. Yeah, it's crazy.
If I were starting now, it would be such a relief to just be like, oh, thank you. Here's all the info.
You mean I just sign up and you tell me what to do? Seriously? That's amazing. I could talk to anyone I want.
a
Yeah.
happy camper if we had that. Yeah, we had to. It was the best part. I'm not sure exactly when you both started shooting, but it was like you had to fight over not just the things that we talk about now, but it was like how many flashes do you need to use and where should they? It was like there's so much more complexity then. I feel like maybe I just didn't know what I was doing, but yeah, the industry is so much easier now.
Oh yeah, and then back then, just learning, doing everything myself. Like everything was me. The editing was me. Everything was
Yeah,
me. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So
Late
yeah.
into the night,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
yeah. Oh my gosh, can have nightmares just thinking about like the layers not matching up, or like how I can't get rid of that weird yellow thing happening in the ceiling. What is that?
Yeah.
I remember with one shoot, I had color banding super bad for some
Yeah.
reason. I still don't know why. And I ended up finding an editor literally that night. And I had never outsourced my editing. I was like, can you edit this job for me? And he was like, sure. And he did it. And I got it back. And I was like, these look really good. That was
Yeah.
really easy. And that's when I
You
was like,
cannot-
I'm switching. I don't
Yeah.
even want to deal
Impossible
with
to
this.
go back after
Never
that.
go
It's-
back.
yeah.
No,
No.
I can't even
No.
do it anymore.
Some
I try.
photographers still do it though, despite
know.
everybody's telling them otherwise, you know?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
I'd rather sleep at night personally,
Oh
but
God,
you know,
sleep is
Yeah.
just
it's preference.
I tried
Still
one day
there.
the other day to explain like a problem, and I'm like, let me just quickly, I can still do this. And I opened up the layers in Photoshop and I tried blending, and then I was like, I don't
Nope.
remember how to do this. I'm done.
Yeah.
Nope. I just say like it needs to be fixed. Like end of
Right.
sentence. Like I'm not going to explain how because I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
So Eli, you've really evolved. You had the course. I remember I've
Mhm.
always looked up to you because you're doing what I want
Thank you.
and have wanted to do since like 2021, 22 is have a really cool
Yeah.
course and have a community. And I've just been stuck in my business and haven't had the time.
Mhm.
So working on that still. But you have morphed, like you really don't push the course anymore. Now it's your community.
Mhm.
Can you explain your rep community and kind of what that is and how many people are running that and just like a little
Yeah.
outline of that for us?
Yeah, definitely. So, when we launched, I'm saying we, but it was really just me when we did the course initially. So I just put a bunch of videos together of what I knew, and we did that for a couple of years, and that was like the course. And doing that, I mean, anybody that, tries to sell any sort of like education product realizes really fast that it's not the material, it's getting people to like use the material and then get results from it. That's the challenge. And so we found that if we had a course, but we paired it with a community and with a one-on-one coach and some other stuff, we were able to just first of all work with a lot less people because we could focus on those people, but they would just get better results. And that was more interesting to me, not because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say I'm such a good guy, I just want to get people results. It's boring selling just a course because you become just a marketer. You're like, hey, buy the course, and then when they're done, you never get to hear from them. You don't get to, work with them. And I like the challenge of working with somebody. It's kind of like starting a new business every time we coach somebody. So that's what we do now is we don't just sell standalone courses. We coach you, and then we've built some services around that. So we have like our core coaching stuff, but we do Rep Engine, which is our cold calling service. So for people that don't like cold calling, which is most people, we do that. We have Rep Talent, where we can hire photographers for you. Rep Editing, where we do video editing. So we've just kind of built out the services that our clients want from us. And that's a little bit of what that looks like.
That's so robust. That's new. When did you add that stuff? Like the services?
So yeah, the services are in the last 18 months or so. Rep Engine being the newest about 4 months ago.
Nice. I
and
love it.
and all of that is when you're a part of Rep to like have those services. Is that correct?
Yeah, some of them are like video editing. You don't have to be a rep coaching client to take advantage of, but the rest of them just like fit with coaching pretty well, or they're like packaged with it, depending on, which option you go with.
Gotcha. And just so people know, Rep is Real Estate Photography Pro, right?
Yeah, Real Estate Photographer Pro. Although it's so funny, I think most people just don't know that. Like that's what the course was called, but now everybody just calls it Rep. And they're like, I don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
I
The two
still get-
P's.
So I went through your rep program it was like 6 months in 24. It was kind of unfortunate timing for me to go through it because there's a lot of family stuff that went on, but it was incredible. I mean, the access you have to your mentors as often as you want. They were super helpful. All the calls that you have that you can join. I'd be driving and I just hop on a call, that were scheduled throughout the entire week. So you've got a great group of people in there. It was really cool. So
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's I say this as genuinely as possible, but like the initial model was like, what would I have wanted when I was first starting? And just a big part of it was you need to be able to like ask somebody sometimes.
Yeah.
And there were so many times where it would have just been like an easy answer that I struggled with. So anyway,
Yeah,
thank you.
searching YouTube videos for hours just to get one little technical thing you didn't understand on your 360 camera or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
It's like it feels good when you find it finally,
Oh
but
yeah,
it
it's
didn't need to take
amazing.
4 hours, So.
Yeah, totally. I had a moment like that just 2 days ago flying my drone where it wouldn't let me take off, and it was like a restricted zone, and it wouldn't
Yeah.
approve my the restriction. And
Yeah.
I finally found that I just had to update the fly data. I'm like, really, seriously? But I want to talk about let's talk about this cold calling thing. So a lot of
Yeah.
people are like, cold calling, does anybody do that anymore? And the truth is it still does work, but maybe the strategy has changed a little bit. It's not like old school, you're not just dialing blind at people, right?
Yeah.
You got to have a method behind it and a skill behind it to be successful, because it is a hard skill to hone. But if you're good at it, it can move sales in your business, right?
Mhm.
So I'd love to hear about what is your method exactly and how does that work? And then of course we want to get some pointers hopefully before we dive into trying this cold calling with you, because it's going to be terrifying, I feel like.
Well, first of all, the background on this is I tried to do everything in my business except cold calling because I'm like everybody else. It's like the last thing you want to do, right? Unfortunately, as much as I tried to figure out other ways, it is literally like the way I look at different client acquisition methods is like how many clients can you get in an hour doing it? So it's not like, there's some things that you can get a lot of clients, but it takes a lot of time. And so it's like, what's the most effective form? I promise you, even if you just literally suck at cold calling, it is going to be the most effective. Now, the challenge is getting yourself to do it. And so that's where it definitely takes some motivation. So I apologize, but it is the most effective way. I built most of my business on Instagram DMs to try to avoid it. What it looks like now, and there are some things that make it easier. We call it the outbound method in our community because if you say cold calling, it sounds scarier, right? So just put that in your head, everybody. Outbound method.
Outbound.
That's
Yeah.
not helping.
Yeah. It just you know what it is? People go, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
now that you ask, So
True. They don't just look at it and go, absolutely not happening. No.
I get like 5 seconds to make my pitch, kind of similar to how you do in a cold call. But the strategy that works the best that we teach, well, first of all, if you try to sell on a cold call, it is going to be a little bit harder. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm looking at how can we get the most paying clients in a period of time, right? And maybe that involves doing a first shoot free. I'm a big fan of that. I know a lot of people in the industry don't like it. It just works whether you like it or not. And so when I teach it, I talk from the perspective of you're going to offer a first shoot free or something for free. Play with it. Everybody gets to build their business how they want, and there's no right answer. I just know I'm a data guy, and I just seen that work better. To keep it simple, you open up Zillow, populates a little list, you call every single listing. That's the secret. That doesn't sound like a secret. What people do wrong is they'll sit there and they'll try to find a listing that doesn't have good photos, or they'll like go, oh, this agent already, and they'll find a reason not to call. Find a reason to call every listing and just offer something. So you look at the listing and it has, no drone photos. You offer drone photos, or it has drone photos. You don't see a floor plan, or you don't see virtual twilights. Like find something, dial the agent. Like 99% of the secret is literally just getting through the shaky hands, putting in the phone number, and then waiting. Once they're on the phone, here's the funniest thing about cold calling. The worse you are at it, the better your results will probably be. And we can talk about why, but it's just something you got to do. You just got to
because it feels organic and you feel like a real person. Probably they can sense you're terrified to even call, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's funny because they'll start and they're objectively awful, but their results are really good, right? And they'll be like, Eli, I've done a few hundred now, and I'm just like, I think the market's changed. And then you look at their calls, and the first call was, is this Neal? And then the guy goes, yeah, right? And you're like, hey, and genuinely you're stuttering, right? You're like, I was just calling about this listing. I'm a new real estate photographer. And then the 100th call is, hey, this is Eli with Norman & Young Real Estate. Click. It's like they tell in the first 2 seconds. And so that's why it's funny, because a lot of people, and we're going to do, I think, a little bit of role playing maybe in a second.
Yeah.
The secret, though, is you don't want to get good. You just want to dial before you thought too much about it.
Oh, okay.
And that's where a lot of the results come from.
I like that. Yeah. And I've done a little bit of cold calling. Generally, I've always tried to make it as warm as I could by doing a little bit of research to have something to comment on. Like if I just looked at their Instagram and saw a picture of their dog, and I said, at least I had something like, hey, I saw your Instagram. It looks great. I love your dog. It's like, what a beautiful dog. Like, there's something. But I'm curious to try it in a scenario where I literally would have just seen a Zillow ad, a Zillow listing, and just called them up. Is there any like script that you go by, or you just don't because you try not to think at all?
There's a formula, but anytime you bring in a script, I think there are times in sales where I think that's really effective.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more from like a framework of what I'm going to hit on, not the words I'm going to use to say it. I think you're setting yourself up to fail if you have a word for word script. Although that makes you feel comfortable, it's not going to work, or work as well, at least. And so the framework is, you need to ask a question at the start of the call. So like if I was calling your listing, Neal, I kind of, like I said earlier, I would have done a little research, to your point. So I click on Zillow, I look at the listing, I see what it's missing. I'm gonna search your name and then Zillow and pull up your profile and see if you have any other listings. Because a lot of times, they might hesitate at the start. I want to have ways to be like, I saw this other listing, like I can just knock out drone photos on both of them. Are you good with that? That kind of thing. So then when I call, it's something along the lines of like, hey, is this Neal? And then you're going to say yes, obviously. And then it's going to be like, hey, I'm a purposeful stutter, right? I'm sorry to bother. I'm a real estate photographer, and I just saw your listing and I noticed it didn't have any drone photos. Is there any chance I could just swing by and shoot some of those for you? And then you just shut up, right? And they're going to say, no worries. I already have a photographer. And you're like, yeah, no, totally understand. I'm just trying to get my name out there, and I mustered up the courage to make a call. And so, if you ever need a backup or anything, I'm here, and I'll shoot you a text with my info. Is that okay? And they're gonna be like, yeah, it's okay, because they're trying to get you off the phone, right? And so then you say, cool, and then you text them, and then you text them the offer again, like, hey, do you mind if I go shoot those? Question mark. And then usually they're gonna be like, nah, do it. You just had to get through that weird like break the ice period, because they don't want to be cold called either. But the second you kind of spend a little more time, they're like, okay, this is someone doing what I've been taught to do, but I'm too scared to do as an agent. I respect that. And it's a numbers game.
I was going to say that's the one advantage we have in real estate, is that agents answer their phone, because they don't know it could be a lead for that house. So they've got to answer it. Right. They do. A lot of them have been trained on cold calling too. So they're supposed to do it. So hopefully they have a little bit of this insight into the pain that we have trying to call them. Right.
I would say most do. The reality though, just to kind of like push aside some of the fear, I've made a lot of cold calls myself. We talk about cold calls all day in our community. It's one of our client acquisition methods, right? I've really never heard of someone getting anything worse than hung up on. Like, agents just generally, they're not going to go off on you. That's the worst they could do, right? But they're not going to do that. They're professionals most of the time. They have a reputation. Worst they're going to say is no. And Jared in our group always says, like, you're offering them free ice cream. You're not trying to get their money. You're like, can I shoot some drone? Like, the easiest yes to get,
Yeah.
And so just keeping that in mind.
Okay, so we got to ask a question at the beginning.
Are we calling? So in this practice, are we calling Eli? Is Eli calling us? What are we going to do?
Whoa. I'm not ready to do this yet.
Oh, I think you're first. Now you're first.
I talked to Neal and I'm like, Neal, I want to go on podcasts and research cold calling so that I'm good at this. And he goes, that's cheating, Rachel. You can't do that. And I was like,
nope.
Okay, it's going to take everything in me to not do my homework.
I literally would not let her. I wouldn't let her. I'm like, no, they're not going to. I'm like, they're not going to learn from you doing a perfect job, Rachel. Like, we need to fall on our faces so people can learn.
Here's the good news, though. I did not like complete the steps. So the first step is going to be, and it's really simple, right? The first step is,
wait. If you don't want to tell us first, we could just do it straight up, and we could learn from doing it.
I mean, I'm down either way.
Have fun, Neal.
I'll do it. Am I calling you, Eli? I'll fail for everybody, so everybody can learn.
Yeah,
I don't care.
You call me. I'll be I'll try to be average real estate agent, and I won't be like over the top hard to deal with.
Okay. And so, all right. So I saw your listing, and it didn't have drone photos. Is that where we're going with? Okay.
Yeah. You call me, and then I answer, and I'll go, hello.
Yeah, and I'll go from there. All right. So ready? Ring a ding ding.
Hello.
Hi. Is this Eli?
This is who's calling?
Oh, hey, Eli. My name's Neal. I'm a starting out real estate photographer, or maybe I shouldn't say starting out, because
you nailed the tone. I mean, you nailed the tone where I was even like, what's he gonna say?
All right. Well, I won't say starting out. I'm a real estate photographer, and I saw your beautiful listing on 74th Street, and looks like you have a really, really great photographer. And one thing I was thinking, though, is I'm just trying to get more people to do more services. And I noticed that one didn't have drone photos. And so one of the things we're doing is just trying to offer drone photos for some listings that maybe just don't have them, because we think it might help get more views on the listing. So I was just curious, would it be cool if we would offer that service to you and just give you some free drone photos in exchange for the opportunity to work with you?
So you did that really well. And normally you'd probably get a yes by how you said that. If they were to react hard, it would be something along the lines of like, no, I'm good with my current photographer, or no, we got that listing under contract.
Okay.
So I'll pretend that. So like,
Okay,
what was
go.
your initial thought if I said, no, I appreciate it. I have a photographer. That listing's actually under contract.
Oh, sick. Congratulations. Already on a contract. That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, not that you always need them, but we're just trying to kind of go overboard and just, get as much, views, not only the house, but on you guys, because we feel like it's just ups the opportunity that your face might get seen for your listing too. So no, I love that. Well, what about, I did see you have a few other listings. We really are about full boat doing all the services. What about floor plans? What about videos? We're doing cool trending videos too that a lot of people haven't tried yet, and we're finding it's a really great way to get your face seen, not just for that listing, but to try get more listings.
Neal, you just need a cold call is all I'm saying. Like you're doing what you need to do, and you could always I could always just come up with something to improve on, but really the improving is just doing them and doing more volume. And so what you did, just to reiterate, which is you didn't say, oh, no worries, thanks so much, and get off the phone, which is the natural temptation to want to do.
Yeah, right.
You just positioned another offer. You did a little bit of research. You knew I had other listings, whatever the case is, and you positioned it and you said why. The only thing I would say is, and you mentioned this, you said you were a new real estate photographer. You got to say what's true, right?
Right.
So if you're new, it's okay to be kind of self-deprecating a little bit in the sense of why you're doing this. So I would just say more about why you're making calls. And I'd make a joke about how your hands were shaking when you dialed, but you really just want to get a few more clients and you figured this is the way to do it. And so you just love the chance to just no strings attached. I want to shoot it for free kind of thing. Okay. But honestly, you can nitpick anything. That call done a lot is just going to work. It just will.
Okay. So we don't have to overcomplicate it, and we just have to not give up so easy. Right. Yeah. And I what I like about your point, I love the question mark, and then to just kind of sit, hey, is this Eli? And to just sit in it. Don't start to ramble and try to get your words in, because I feel like they instantly know that's a sales call, right? And they're just because I know that, hey, Neal, so-and-so, I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's the hardest thing to do. It's because you're nervous too. Everybody's nervous, right? So let's get that out of the way.
We're doing it for fake, and I'm nervous doing it.
Yeah. I'm nervous, and I haven't even done it. Just sitting here, I'm sweating.
You're making it worse because now you have to wait, Rach. You're just like, oh, you should have pulled the Band-Aid off. Yeah.
It's you want so bad to fill the silence on those calls, and that is the sales 101 is you make the offer and you shut up. And you just gotta wait. Maybe they hang up on you sometimes. Maybe they go right into it. But that's a key thing is you're going to hit them with the question. They're going to ask you, you're going to say, yes, it's my name, right? You ask a question you know the answer to. And then you're going to, right after you ask the question, you're going to present them with an offer and wait. And then you objection handle. That's the full sales thing. So then you objection handled already. My objection was, I already have a photographer and that listing's under contract. And you're like, oh, no worries. Congrats. That's exactly what I would recommend saying. And then, you can position yourself as a backup and then, mention other listings. And also, for everybody that's not going to push on the call, which I think is totally a safe thing to do. You don't want to blow your reputation. Feel free to get off the call, do a little more research, shoot them a voice memo, send them a text, be like, hey, I'm not going to lie, I was super scared because I hate making cold calls, but I had to check your research after. I saw you have this listing. Is it okay if I shot some drone photos for you? And then I know I'm using drone photos as an example a lot. Those are an easy yes because they don't have to get in the property. You obviously want to push for a full shoot if you can, but sometimes the opportunity doesn't present itself.
Oh, good point. Yeah, they don't even have to go. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I like that too. That you got off the call. It was a fine call, and now you've got a chance to connect again because you already had a conversation, right?
Yeah,
that's solid. Yeah, and I do like the self-deprecating, hey, thanks for not giving me a hard time on the cold calling. I'm terrible at it, but I did just see this other thing, right? Just
I'm smiling listening to you say that because it connects as a human. I don't want to know anybody who likes cold calling. They don't sound like great people, you know?
Right?
Like, I don't want to know.
I'm a
that they're like,
machine at cold calling. Yeah.
Neal, you're such a good voice actor, though, an actor in general. Like,
Yes.
anytime we have to do like a read for an ad, his are so good and mine sounds so scripted. I'm like, this is rare. Neal's got the advantage with all your
Neal,
acting.
my guess is you'll get, if you call, you'll
Mm.
probably get like 20% of the time a yes.
Mm.
So like just for a ballpark, like you're doing
That's
it
good
well,
to know. Yeah, and that's
a
good to
lot.
know for
Yeah.
expectations too. That you're not going to get one, 2 out of 4, whatever. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So 20% is a good number, right?
20 to 40 is like just make more calls. Under 20, work on your mechanics of what you're offering and how you're doing it. That is not to say you can't get more. There's a couple people in our group that are just, naturally talented, I would say, at that, and maybe have a sales background and they're getting, 70, 80. But those people are pushing more than I would be able to do, not because I'm not willing to push, just because it takes skill to push appropriately, and it's not a skill I have. So like for me, I'm happy in the 20 to 40% range.
Is that just because they're a little more comfortable in the silences, or what is
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I think that, and some people are just quick-witted with the objection handling, in a respectful way. Because if you push, you get hung up on, and your reputation is everything in this business.
Yep.
So you can't do that.
Mhm.
And so it's like some people can just keep people engaged on a call longer. I struggle to do that, and so I'm
there's
not
just some
gonna for me,
finesse.
it's more
There's just
volume.
some finesse there, the right balance, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
More calls will slowly get you there, I assume, right? And that's what a lot of these sales guys, they get paid good money because they can close on calls. Not everybody can do it, right? Yeah. But I like the
Yeah,
simplicity of this method.
I don't like to do anything where my only chance of success is being like the best at it. Like I want to play a game where I can be like okay and still do okay. And so that's the thing with cold calling. Is like you don't have to be quote unquote world class. You just have to be willing to call, and then you make the rest up on volume. You can make 5 calls in 15 minutes. And then you get a client, and that's like, what is that, 4 clients an hour if you keep it that rate? Just most people aren't willing to call for an hour because it's a little emotionally taxing. But
that's an impressive
Yeah.
point, right? How else are you
Yeah.
going to get a client that quickly? That's amazing.
Yeah. There's not many ways. And that's coming from someone who I didn't use cold calling to build most of my business, right? It was Instagram DMs because I was too scared to call. So you can do it without cold calling, but if you want fast, nothing beats calls.
All right, now for Rachel, she's
gonna,
trying
like,
to hide. She's trying to hide. She thought that maybe we'll forget.
Okay. I got this. All right, let's go.
You got it, Rach. You got it.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, is this Eli?
Yeah, this is, who's calling?
Hi, Eli. This is Rachel Atkins. I am a local real estate photographer, and I noticed that you have a listing on Zillow that doesn't have a 3D home tour on it. You have great photos, but I don't see a 3D home tour. Have you heard of those before?
Yeah, this listing was just kind of a cheap one, so I just wanted to get what I had up there, but I'm not really interested. But thank you for calling.
Yeah, awesome. No, I totally get that. Most homes don't need everything. But what if I told you that I would love to come in and just do it for free for you and, help and get some eyes on this listing?
Yeah, I already have a photographer, and I think I may have not mentioned this, but this listing I think is about to go under contract, so I'm good for now. But I appreciate the offer and have a good rest of your day.
Oh, no worries. Thanks so much. Bye. Okay, now I'm going to text him and be like, hey, I
You're gonna
noticed
go
you
for the
have another
follow-up,
listing. Yeah, because he's like ready to get off the phone. He's done. I don't want to push.
Yeah.
I can put my
That's
phone
what
down
most
now.
of them are going to be. I mean, objectively, you did a good job. I would just really, like, from my perspective, you sound, unfortunately, like you've called too many times.
Yeah, that's how it felt. It felt
Yeah.
very fake, like very salesy.
And that's what's
Like, I
hard
wanna
because, like,
just get it over.
you had too much time to think about what you were going to say before you made the call, which
Yeah.
that's why I just got to rip the call. And then I'm like, and then you're legitimately panicked on the call and it comes across and it's good, versus like you had it too ready to go. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, that call you'll get clients from that.
Right. I legit want to do this when I get off this podcast.
Yeah.
I want to do like 5 of them and just try it.
You should. It's worth it.
Looking forward to it.
I will say the pain of doing it is high. The dopamine hit that you get when you get a yes is like you're trying to be like professional. Oh, very nice. You're not expecting them to say yes. They say yes, and you're like, yeah, I can be there on Tuesday. I mean, like freaking out. So you do get like the dopamine payoff when they say yes, which is good.
That was
That's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome.
What about Eli? Do you ever do like inbound sales calls where it's kind of a similar thing where all they want to know is what does it cost, or you know what I mean, and how do do you ever deal with that? And do you have any pointers for that kind of call?
Are you saying like inbound as an agent got your info and is just calling you?
Yeah, maybe they saw your work and they're like, well, I guess maybe I should check this guy or whatever. They got a problem. Their photographer's not available. They saw your work and they call. They're like, hey, and really all they care is it as cheap as their guy or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, they're interested, but you're trying to get them on the hook for the works package.
Yeah.
And all they want to do is the cheapest thing. Like, is there any pointers for that kind of thing?
My experience has been you can try to fight it directly, but usually you win that battle indirectly. So what we do is kind of continue what we do on the cold call. So like, let's say an agent calls, we book the shoot. I'm going to try to upsell them on a package if they're going a la carte and like try to add on stuff. I'm going to Google the listing real quick, see if it's by a lake, offer drone, you know what I mean? Like the normal stuff we all do. Average order value is a metric we look at very heavily with our clients. Like we look at it at our business. How much money do we make when someone calls? Regardless of what they book, like what's the average, right? The best way to get that up is to get services in their hands. So when we have someone book a base package, a new client, the first thing we're going to do is look up how productive of a realtor they are. Like how many listings do they do? If it's a couple a year, maybe we throw on just drone photos, something easy. I use those a lot because they're just like free basically for us to do. We have editing costs in it, right? And so we throw on that. They're at least going to get exposed to it. Maybe they order it again in the future. If we look it up and it's 12, 15, 30 listings a year, we're just going to be like, hey, do you have time for me to do the rest of this? I'll throw it on my end. But like, do you have the time if I just do this for you, just so you can sample our services? I know that sounds like I'm just all about giving away stuff, but like the math shows that will get you higher AOV in the future from that client. And so rather than fight them, try to order it, it's like Costco. You give them the sample and they're probably going to buy it. Granted, it's a little more expensive sample, but they're also buying something more expensive. So that's kind of what we do, and it works.
You ever try to get them into like a video package? I feel like that would be a lot harder to give away free because it's a lot more time consuming and editing costs and stuff like that. Do you ever just try to upsell them into that, or are you still trying to give away like a full blown package?
We try, just to like be clear, we try to upsell first every time. I'm trying to make money. That's not a secret. I'm not trying to give away stuff. I just am going to do what it takes to like maximize the future money. And so we try to upsell them. A video, yes, absolutely, we give those away. That's going to be way more agent dependent. So, again, 30 listings a year. That's worth it for me to just gamble giving them a free video.
Gotcha. Yep.
The tip on that though is you got to get them on camera because the conversion rate in the future, you all know this, everybody listening probably knows this, but like if they get on camera, even if they don't like the way they look, they're happier with the video.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're connected to it at that point. It's not the same as just a regular listening video. They're getting people saying, "Oh, you look great in that video. Good job," and they're like, "Oh, look at me." Yeah, they feel good. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, very true.
Cool.
Okay, so back to the cold calling stuff. So let's say you close it, and they're like, "Yes, I want drone photos." So then you schedule it. You go shoot them. You've got them in your system now. You deliver the photos. Now, what do you do for follow up from there?
Yeah, really good question because you can give away free shoots, but if you don't convert anybody, have fun with that.
Yeah.
So the metric we look at is if you want to target 80% free to paid conversion, and that's totally doable. It may sound like a lot to some listening, it may sound like not a lot, but 80% is kind of like the sweet spot. So 8 out of 10 of those shoots you do should result in a client. How you do that, obviously, we want to try to get them to say yes to services where we get to meet them on site. So drone photos are my bait. The second they say yes to that, like, hey, are you able to swing by? Like, I'd love to, do this. I'd love to give you some virtual staging. Granted, that's expensive. You got to be careful with that. But like those kind of things, right? I want to meet the agent. So if they say yes, try to get to meet them. You'll be successful some of the time, not all the time, right? And this is so overlooked. I didn't do it forever in my business. Once you do it, you're like, what was I doing this whole time? Not doing it, which is a post-shoot onboarding call. So like in most businesses, especially when you're going to have an ongoing relationship that's worth thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Over the long term, it could be like 50 grand for a big agent over, a few years. Like most businesses would have some sort of onboarding. So we always try to schedule a 15-minute Zoom call the following day with every new client. And we get on with them. We show them the photos. We show them how to use our system. We tell them how to complain, which is an art, but it works really well. You basically say, hey, if you don't like anything in the future, like, let me know. This is our default, right? Like, we can make these brighter. We can not shoot laundry rooms for you. Like, this is just our default. I'll fix anything on this shoot and in future shoots. We make client notes. Just keep me posted. A lot of churn is from clients not liking something you did, but not wanting to tell you because people don't like complaining, like most people. As many people would disagree dealing with realtors, most of them don't want to complain. They'll just use somebody else.
Yeah.
So nobody likes confrontation either, right? They'd rather just walk away.
Yep.
Yeah.
especially if you did a free shoot. Like nobody wants to complain if you did something for free. You have to tweeze it out of them, and that's why that call is so good.
That's important.
Okay, so even if you just do drone shoot, just a drone shoot, you're getting them on that call for 15 minutes?
You try.
Okay.
You won't be successful every time. What we default to is if they say no, if they're too busy, you got to kind of push it a little bit. Like tell them there's cool stuff they get working with you, depending on what platform you use, the property website, that kind of stuff. If not, send them a custom Loom video. Just make sure you say their name right at the start. Nobody wants to watch some pre-made, nonsense. So
I have that, but that's just for people who need help.
yeah, we have that too. But if I'm trying to convert a client, it's like,
make
hey,
it
Rachel,
personal.
at the start of the call. Yeah.
Totally. Okay, cool. That's great. And then let's say they don't want to meet. You just give them their photos. They don't have a time of day for you. Do you put them on an email list? Are you popping in their DMs, or what's your next step?
We call it a sneak attack, but I'm just gonna call them again in a month or 2 months. People just immediately put your email to the junk. Maybe it helps you stay top of mind. I think it's too much work for what you get out of it. People disagree. You can get a lot from an email list. I just like the sneak attacks. Google their name 2 months later, see if they have any listings, call them, connect the dots that they worked with you in the past, and just see what's going on.
What's the main goal of that on that call? Is that just a connection and leave it at that, or are you still trying to get on another listing with them?
Yeah, I mean, trying to get another listing for sure. It's kind of like a last resort call ultimately, because hopefully it hasn't gotten to that point, right? But it will, even if you're good 20% of the time. Similar to the initial call, but less cold. It's like, hey, I was just thinking about you. I know we did that shoot a couple months back. I was going to look it up, but I figured I'd just dial. Like, do you have any listings coming up? Anything live I can shoot? Just like a reminder that you exist. Realtors are busy,
Is there any psychology tips you can give us about these calls? Like I've heard things where, you get them to say yes 3 times and they're more likely to say yes to you. Do you use any of these psychology tactics?
I don't. I'm going to put that on a skill issue of myself, though. It goes back to I don't want to have to be so good at this. I just want to find something that works being average. And so maybe, I don't know. I think the biggest psychology tip is just figuring out how to actually press the call button. I negotiate with myself like crazy why I shouldn't call anymore. Right? I'll go to be about to dial and I'll be like, I found, they don't need drone photos. This house is in the middle. And it's like, Eli, pick up the phone, And so I think psychology wise, I just have to remind myself there's so much money on the other end of that phone call and on the other end of something not even that uncomfortable, moderately uncomfortable. And then I just grit my teeth and dial.
Yeah. I think if you look up, I think it's probably a lot of people going cold call doesn't work anymore. No, I mean, the new thing is Instagram method and, all this. And if you even look up the stats, I looked up stats and the stats don't look good for cold calling. But listen to Eli, who is saying this works.
And here's the thing.
The advantage because they answer their phones all the time.
That's the difference.
Advantage.
They have to. They're captive to us being able to call them, and they're the easiest people on planet Earth to find.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine selling life insurance. Who are you calling? Of course you're gonna get hung up on. You're calling everybody. I'm calling an agent, and they're like, "Hi, I'm an agent." I'm like, "Perfect. Let me call you."
Yeah.
It makes it easy.
They're excited their phone ring because they're hoping for that lead on that.
You gotta
house.
let them down easy, but
sorry, it's just a photographer.
Free ice cream. You're at least giving them a shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So what if I didn't want to give away something for free? Do you have any tactics to do this? And I mean, maybe offer a discount or do you have any tips for someone who's I'm not giving away stuff for free?
I would not do cold calling if you're not going to give it away for free because it's going to take your conversion rate from I'm again looking at it the amount of clients we can get in an hour, right? So if you make a 20% conversion rate and you call 5 clients, you get 1. If you have a paid offer, it's probably going to be 50 clients to get 1. I'm not willing to make 50 calls to get 1 shoot. Okay. And so if you were hey, I'm not allowed to do free for whatever reason, I would start working my existing clients. If you're still willing to call, but I would just call the clients, hey, I'm looking to get a couple more clients. I know we've worked together for a while. Is there anybody that I should be working with? Is a question that I really like. And you should do this in addition. This is something we teach anyway. But that's a good one. And they'll be say
that line one more time because I think it went really fast, but I think it was really solid. Can you say that?
Yeah, it'd be hey, Neal, I know we've been working together for a while. Is there anyone that I should be working with? And they're going to give you a name. And then when you call that name,
that's a warm lead.
It's a warm lead. And then you'll have a higher shot of offering a paid.
Yeah.
If you just want to go aggressive, you can still offer free.
And you're starting that call with, Jeremy. I was talking to Jeremy the other day. Jeremy said that I should give you a buzz sometime. So I just thought I'd give you a call, introduce myself. He thought you might be somebody who could utilize the services that we do with him, right?
Yeah, they can't hang up on you when you do that. Like if they hang up on you,
They're
it's
hanging
like
up on their
rare.
friend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool. I think that was amazing. And I hope that will be really valuable to everybody doing that cold calling stuff. I want to talk a little bit more about a couple of other services that you guys handle as well, like the video editing, how that works, and kind of could you dive into a little bit of that and I think that stuff, but maybe also who should be considering the rep course stuff now, like Rachel had done before.
Yeah, as to that question, it's hard to say without talking to you, and that's
Mm.
why we offer those calls where you can chat with our team. I mean, if you're already in real estate media, it's a little bit easier for me to say without, seeming too pushy that you should at least chat with us. If you're thinking about starting this business, we like to chat with you because there's some, there are cases where it's just too small of an area and we'd want to work with you. It's just unless you're going to move, it's not an option. So I'd say it's worth a chat. As far as like the other services we offer, there's three. So there's video editing, engine, and talent. So we call them rep editing, rep engine, rep talent. Rep talent, a lot of these are born of like necessity, right? So one of the biggest struggles we had with people in our forward coaching program, people who need to hire typically, is that they just would delay starting the hiring process. Like they know they need to hire, but they don't know like how to do the job posting and how to interview. And so we offer a service where we do that for them. We give them 3 finalist candidates. They pick one, do the final interview, hire them. If they don't work out for 60 days for any reason, we restart the process. So that just helped them move faster. And that's more so something that's included with coaching now versus like something you buy itself, if that makes sense.
And that's not a standalone product that like anyone off the street could get access to.
No,
You have
we
to be part of the
initially
coaching.
sold it a little bit that way, but we found the results that higher staying were lower unless we got to work with them, if that makes sense, because it was like we'd find them the person we thought was perfect and like their business was set up in a way that that person didn't want to stay, and then we're hiring again. So that's not a standalone thing. And then rep editing, video editing is pretty straightforward. We just offer video editing. That was a pain point for a lot of our clients, was they couldn't find a good video editor, and everybody we'd recommend would get too busy, and so we built that in-house. And then
how does that work? Is that it's like a flat rate for a video? How do you guys do that?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, there's options. You can do the new AI effects, text effects, but yeah, it's a flat rate per video. Ultimately, it's about $50 for a 1-minute video, and then we have like luxury edit options and stuff too. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
That's awesome for people who are having a hard time trying to figure that out on their own or whatever. It's not as easy as it looks when you start messing around trying to do these things and you're like, why is this camera zoom not happening? Literally, my editor was talking to me about that the other day. It's like, I did that cool thing where the virtual people popped in the room, but I tried to match the camera zoom in and it's not working. I'm like, well, keep trying, check the forums.
It is hard. That's photo editing is like so easy, thankfully, these days, but video is getting easier to find, which is nice.
Yeah.
But still can be a challenge. Yeah. And then engine is my personal favorite because we just built a team of cold callers because it's a struggle to get people to cold call. So you can cold call yourself and save money, or we can cold call and book appointments for you, and you're going to pay for it, but you don't have to pick up the phone.
How's
Can I hire you? I want
Yeah.
to hire you right now.
Yeah, right.
You're hired.
What's it-
Eli.
How
I was
do
in
you
the
charge
company.
for
Can I
that?
be in? Can I
Yeah, engine is one of those things that is we try to do it with coaching because we want to make sure your conversion rate's high, because we do book free shoots into your calendar. It's not a paid shoot thing, but yeah, it's basically a flat rate depending on kind of what you're looking to have us do. It's paid for performance though, so you don't pay us to make calls, you pay us to book shoots. You pay a flat rate for that.
Great.
Sweet.
That's cool.
So cool. I love those services. Like you've really rounded out the entire program to where you can help people with everything, like all the issues. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm excited about engine. It's just fun. I don't like cold calling, and so like the fact that we have people that cold call all day that like it is, I don't know, it's cool.
You have to be a special kind of animal to get a kick out of the adrenaline of the win of the cold call. Like,
it's like discipline, and I don't know. I guess they're just not
discipline.
as emotionally affected as me. I'm like 5 calls in, I'm tired,
Yeah, right. So I just wanted to go right. I
I think I'm gonna write a script that actually has like the ums and the pause in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
You just gotta like you gotta sound out of breath, do some jumping jacks first or something.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's good.
Yeah,
Actually, I have a gal on my team who we were doing a headshot pop-up event for a mortgage company, and it was a bunch of realtors that came through, so it was awesome. And I was shooting and she was out working the crowd, and she loves sales. And she was talking to this agent about our company and just doing a great job telling him everything that we do. And this mortgage guy behind her heard her and he interrupted her and he was like, "Hey, do you need a job in sales?" She was like, "I have a job in sales, clearly. No, I'm happy where I am." I was like, "Get away from my girl. You're not taking her."
Yeah.
So I
That
might put
shows
her
how
up to
hard
it.
salespeople that are good are hard to find, you know? It's just, everybody wants them.
If she lights me up, I'm like, "You're coming with me to every single event we do now." Like,
Yeah.
please. Because me mingling in the crowd is like, I'm just awkward. I'm just
Same. I hate
I feel
that.
uncomfortable. I'm good one-on-one, but like in a group, I'm like,
I forced Rachel at PMRE to go around and like chat with as many people as I'm like, let's do it, let's go. Just
No, I understand that. That's why I made all this content so they come ask me questions. You know, I don't have to think of what to say. That's the real
perfect.
play.
That's perfect.
Oh,
yeah.
you know, I have one more question I wanted to ask, which was
Yeah.
on the cold calling thing. What are some of the worst things you see that are the bad tendencies to avoid on your cold calling? Like any pointers there? What to steer
Yes.
clear of?
I mean, we talked about some of them. And so I just want to repeat the one because it's the most critical is the scripted. The more scripted you are, the worse your conversion rate will be. You know, and then the other one would just be being too quick to be like, no worries, thanks, bye. Which I understand is hard. You have to just be like, yeah, I totally get it. Like, if you ever need a backup, I'm here. Is it okay if I shoot you my info? Like, just a little bit of pushing. The line of like where you push too much is much further than you think, much further than I think at least. And so I have to like coach myself to not just immediately like turtle and get off the phone, which is hard to do.
Cool. All right, good pointer. I love that.
Okay, I have a question too. This is a very serious one. Where did the name Norman and Young come from?
Oh yeah, we were talking about
Everybody asks that. It sounds like a law firm is what people
It's
say
probably
a
your
lot,
middle
so-
names. That's gonna be my
And
guess.
it's-
It is.
Oh, middle
Yeah,
names.
my
Okay.
middle name is Norman, and then my brother, who we built the company together, is Young. So we did that.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Because I might be part owner in your business. I don't know, because being a young. So.
You are. That's the truth.
Awesome score.
You can flip this and use it against me. You know?
Yeah, totally. I'm actually the original founder. Look at his name. It doesn't even line up. Let's go. Rach, can you imagine if you had to go back to a world pre-HD Photo Hub?
Oh, no way. No, HG Photo Hub literally saved my life during the COVID craze. With online ordering, their invoicing, the photo delivery, the Google integration, and just having everything on one platform, HG Photo Hub really does it all. And I cannot imagine my business without it.
Same. Pre-HD Photo Hub, I feel like I was just spending all my time chasing my own tail. It was horrible. The good news is our listeners get a special deal. If you enter the code STS, you're going to get 10 free full marketing kit deliveries. Remember, enter the code STS. So, Eli, we have a new segment here that we're having fun with. It's great to hear all these positive success stories, but
Horror stories are way more fun.
it's horror story time.
We nailed it.
Perfect. That's good.
Okay,
That's
Eli,
great.
let's hear it.
All right. I genuinely have never said this one before, I don't think, on any kind of live stream. So no one use it against me, but it was a self-inflicted horror story that was all my doing. This was probably in like 2017. So I was at this nice house and I first got there and the agent was like, the homeowners were just leaving. And the agent was like, Eli, when you leave, can you make sure that you turn off all the lights and lock up? Because the homeowners are going to be out of town for a couple weeks. I'm like, perfect. Got you. Is like music to my ears. They're going to be out of there, right? So I was doing this Matterport tour and it was with one of like the pro cameras, the original one. You know, that thing take like 5 minutes to make a scan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like many times, every time it would scan, this cat would walk in the frame. So I was like, all right. So like this can't happen. So I like lured the cat into the closet, closed the door, and scanned the rest of the house. And I think Neal caught where we're going already. So, like, so I leave, and like 3 or 4 weeks later, I woke up and I was like, oh my god, like the cat.
3 or
Because
4
the homeowners
weeks.
are gonna be gone, and they had set out. So there's piles of food, water bowls, because they were planning on leaving the cat, right? And I was like, the cat is in the closet. And to this day, I think someone came by and let it out because I never heard about it, but I'm way too scared to call that client and ask. And so I have lived with that on my conscience for like the last 8 years. And
my
You
so-
never told the
gosh.
client or anything?
No, it was like 4 weeks later. I was like,
Yeah.
that cat is a skeleton if it's in there.
Oh, no.
And so let me just.
I
you
will
know,
say the fact that you never heard anything about it is
good.
you know that the cat is okay, because they would have
Yeah.
gone like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
There's only one person that's
There's
been
only-
here, and it was that photographer.
I just pictured the like, you know, the small food bowl with the heap of food because they were planning on, and I was
Oh, I
Oh
like
my
woke
God.
up in bed. Oh my god, they're like
first
free
thing in the morning, it just like hit me. Oh my god.
thanks for the free
Quality.
drone shoot, Eli. Now you owe us a cemetery, like a funeral service.
I'm being triggered. It's my cat peed in my bed when I was on vacation because it got locked in my room.
Yeah, I'll take the pee as long as that thing is
Oh my
still
god!
alive.
I love that it
Right?
was so
Yeah.
long later, 4 weeks later. You
Yeah, it
thought
was
of
like
it.
2. It wasn't like 3 days where I could be like,
Oh.
go let it out, you know?
Right,
It
that's
was too late.
horrible. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah,
That's the
somebody must
worst
have.
when it hits you too, because you're like, oh
Yeah.
no. Oh
It's
my
like, and there's
gosh.
nothing you could do. It's like
I
it's
was
too
way
late,
too
you
long
know?
after. Yeah.
Oh,
poor
that's
kitty.
amazing. Well, dude, it's so great having you on the podcast. I think it's gonna be
Thank you both.
super
Yeah,
valuable
Yeah.
to everybody. So we'll love to have you on another time. Maybe next time you
Absolutely.
can teach us something else that's horrifying.
Yeah,
that'd be
I
great.
probably have a couple more in there, so we'll save those for the next time.
Amazing,
Well,
amazing.
thank you both. I
So,
appreciate it.
real quick before we get off, where
Oh,
can people
yeah.
find you, Eli,
Yes,
on social?
Yeah, at it's Eli Jones, like ITS Eli Jones, kind of everywhere. And once you follow me, good luck. If you're not getting hit with enough videos already, you're not going to see anything else. So have fun.
Very
Get
easy
used to
watch.
this
It's very
face right
happy and
here.
Easy to listen to. So enjoy, guys.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
Cool,
Thanks
cool.
again, Eli.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.